Have you ever imagined how chemists are able to calculate the exact amount of substances needed for a reaction? Imagine a person trying to bake a cake and using the wrong amount of flour. Of course, that is disaster. And that is where stoichiometry comes in. I am Adrenaline, the Bazooka Prophet, a passionate chemistry educator with over a decade of teaching experience in chemistry. And through my platform Adrenaline Tutorial International, I have been able to help countless number of students around the globe, around the world, taking them through huge success in chemistry and also mastering the art of what? Of chemistry. And today, we're going to be solving questions on stoichiometry using the step-by-step approach, which I call the bazooka approach. And before we start the video, I want you to comment below the part of stoichiometry that is actually confusing to you. And let's just see how we can help you and let us work together. Now to the business. A question given to us here says, a jet plane carrying 3,000 of ethane burns off all the gas, forming water and CO2. Now, a step-by-step approach. The questioner says, if all the CO2 is expelled, and all the water is condensed and kept on board the plane, then the gain in weight is, these are the options. Now, this question is centered around a backdrop of stoichiometry for students having problems in understanding the concept of stoichiometry. Now, this question can't be solved if we don't give the reaction for it. The first step is the reaction. And of course, the gas in particular is ethane, which is C2H6 plus O2 to give me what? CO2 and what now? And water from the question. Now, you should be aware, or you should know, that when an organic compound is burnt in oxygen or in excess oxygen, for example, when an hydrocarbon is burnt in excess oxygen, carbon dioxide and water are what? Are given out as a product. Now, of course, this equation is not balanced. It means that in solving questions on stoichiometry, your equation must be balanced, obeying the law of the conservation of mass. Obeying the law of conservation of mass. It is not difficult at all to understand, actually. Now we come here. Of course, here is 2. We put 2 here at first. Here is 6 hydrogen. Of course, here will be 3. Now, the total amount of oxygen here in this compound, in this product, is 7. As 2 times 2 is 4, plus this 3 here is 7. Of course, there is no way we can do it here because it's an odd number. And because it is an odd number, we'll put 7 over 2. Now, we cannot make use of fractions. So what do? We multiply all through by this denominator to make it simpler and easier for us. So here becomes 2. Of course, these 2 will go away. Now here becomes what? Now 4. Here becomes 4. Here becomes what? Here becomes 6. So this is for the balanced equation. Now, I often tell students all around the world that while solving questions in stoichiometry that involve mass-to-mass relationship, you need to consider the 2 substances you are relating. Of course, one will be known while the other will be unknown. Now, from the question here, the known quantity here is ethane. And while the unknown here, of course, is what now? They said is water. Why is it not CO2? Because they say CO2 is expelled, meaning it's given out, right? And that all the water is condensed and kept on board the plane. So So meaning I am relating ethane and water. So what do? Make sure you calculate the molar mass of each of the substances you are relating. Now, how many moles do we have here? 2 moles. So 2 moles multiplied by the molar mass of ethane. Now, the molar mass of ethane is like this. Let me do it in a very let me do it somewhere. Let me do it somewhere here. Now, the molar mass of ethane, which is C2H6, is equal to carbon is 12, which you're always giving. Carbon is 12. 12 times 2 is 24. Hydrogen is 1. 1 times 6 is 6. To give me what now? 30 grams per mole. Now I come here, I put here 30. Equivalent to, of course, water. Here is 6 multiplied by the molar mass of water is 18 grams per mole. How do I know? Hydrogen is 1. 1 times 2 is 2. Plus 16 is what now? Up together is 18 grams per mole. So here is what now? 18. So now look at the question. Now they said a jet plane carrying 3,000 kilograms, meaning the given quantity there is 3,000 kilograms, which must be converted to gram in such as both of what you have in here can be the same in terms of their units. So here become 3,000 multiplied by 10 raised to what now? 3 grams. What is the unknown of the water first? So what do? You just cross multiply. When you cross multiply, it will now be x gram of water is equal to 3,000 raised to power 10 raised to power 3. 3,000 times 10 raised to power 10 raised to power 3 multiplied by 6 multiplied by what now? 18 over 2 multiplied by what now? 30. Now, when you do everything here with your calculator, you should be having it to be as 3,000 10 raised to power 3,000 times 10 raised to power 3 multiplied by 6 multiplied by 18. Then you're having 2 multiplied by 30. You'll be having what we call, you're having 5,4,0,0,0,0 grams. Now what do next? You have to convert it to kilogram because of the question, which is what now? 5,400 what? Kilogram. Now the next one, look at the steps, look at the way they are being solved. Now you permit me so I can rub off this part so we can solve it. Now, to calculate for the mass of the water gain, the mass gain is equal to the mass of water minus the mass of ethane, which is equal to 5,400 minus 3,000. And when you do it minus 3,000, it will give me 2,400 what? Kilogram. That is how easy the question is. Very easy from the step that you are having here. This is the solution. You see the processes is a step by step. First of all, the given equation. The equation must be balanced. Then you relate the ethane with the water. The CO2 was expelled, so I'm considering the ethane and the water. Then I apply the mass to mass relationship. Then I get, first of all, the mass of the water to be 5,400,000 grams, which will be converted to kilogram, because the mass gain is mass of water minus mass of what now? Ethane, When you subtract, you get the final answer be what now? 2,400 kilograms. And this marks the end of this part. For more calculation questions, you can drop your comments as I earlier stated. Thank you and God bless you.